What's up, guys? Welcome
like
back to Underworld Ministry. It's been like a month.
I know.
We've had some stuff going on, but we're back for you guys.
You guys like that little tidbit at the end of our new intro?
What do you guys think of the new intro?
We need to think about.
I literally can't really see him. You disappeared. Oh, no, she's back. Okay.
Plus merch.
Yeah. We will have some more soon.
We're
hopefully.
working on getting more. We do have stickers for sale.
We do.
$5 each.
$5 if you want a sticker. They're literally huge. Yeah. They're literally 5 by 5. So. They're huge. I wanted to get all the detail in. But
yep, we start off season 5.
We are starting off season 5
with a brand new guest.
Oh, I can't believe we're doing this again.
I know.
It's been so long. I think we should bring him on.
I think so.
Should we tell everybody who there is?
I think you should.
Here we go. Well, the story is the Bell Witch Cave, but where we'll be talking to the Black Wolf Paranormal. They are tour guides.
I love tour guides.
And they tell the story of the Bell Witch Cave and the family farm.
So instead of us fumbling it out, why don't we just bring them on stage?
All right. So here's Todd and Leanne from Black Wolf Paranormal.
Hello.
Hey guys.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
We are doing well.
What do you guys think of the new intro?
It's awesome. I love it.
New. I just redid it.
Yep.
Looks great.
Wow. The last couple of weeks.
We already have 7 comments. Wow. Howdy.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, these are our friends over here.
These are our family that we see over there.
Hello, friends and family.
We didn't know that you guys were bringing family. We would have.
Well, these are our best friends that live in the most haunted home in Kentucky, the Ditto House Inn. Yeah, and they just recently helped us with our past investigation event at the Bell Witch. Denise and Ernie Pack of Pac-Man Paranormal, and I do see Brandy there. Hey, Brandy.
Yeah.
Well, you guys give us a little message, and we'll be talking to you soon. We love new people, and we love making new friends with other paranormal investigators.
Well, they're fabulous people.
They're some of the
this
best.
This is why we love connecting with people in other states, because now we get to make new friends.
Right.
And I think. Well, Alice moved now. She's in Nevada, but she was our first Tennessean. Now you guys are it. You guys are our Tennessee peoples now. Do you want to explain Black Wolf Paranormal a little bit to us? How you guys got started and who you guys are?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm horrible with dates. A few years back, we were tour guides at Haunted South Pittsburgh Hospital in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. We had started a team there. We had about 8 or 10 people on our team at that time. We did a lot of different stuff, different investigations, different locations. A lot of our team decided to go off in different directions. And the team now is Leanne, myself, Beth Allen, and my son and his girlfriend are kind of part of the team as well. So there's just 5 of us now. But we've been places like, again, we got our start at Old South Pittsburgh. We went.
Or you said you had a stroke.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of that tonight from Ernie. He counts how many strokes I have.
Oh, God.
But we got our start at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. We were there for about 18 months. Then we moved on to Waverly Hills, and we're tour guides with Ernie and Denise for about 10 months or so.
Oh.
And then we got out of that, went through, helped out Ernie and Denise with the Save Waverly Hills movement, and landed at the Bell Witch Cave. We
That's
became
awesome.
we became close friends with the owners up there, and they kind of welcomed us up there with open arms, and we've been there. This will be our second season. We're going into our third season.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Now, do you guys only do the tours, investigations, certain times of the year?
Yeah, we do. We do the events once a month. What we do, their season starts in May through the first part of November.
Okay.
We're once a month. And what we typically do, we will bring a team in, a local team, because we've got a bunch of great people, local teams around here. There's somebody also in the chat, Barbie. Her team is coming this next month for October 17th to help us. So what we do, we bring those teams in, they co-host with us, and let them have, experiences and see what they get there at the event. And it's been fun. We've had a blast and having all of our different friends and teams in there. And yeah, it's been interesting.
So October is going to be definitely a busy month for us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Not only do we have our Bell Witch event on the 17th, which is a Thursday night, then we'll take a break that Friday, and then that Saturday we will be up in West Point, Kentucky at Fort Duffield with Ernie and Denise doing the spirits, squatches, and stories by the campfire.
Got it right.
That's
Right.
awesome.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they not to go off topic or anything. There's two places. Well, there's a lot more places that I want to go, but I've been to one. My number one was Penhurst. I've been there,
Mm-hmm.
but my number two is Waverly. Like, I want to investigate Waverly so bad.
I do too.
Yeah, it's amazing, and just the history
Yeah.
there is just crazy. The building, seeing that building for the first time, I actually cried when I saw the building for the first time. It just, just to be there,
Yeah.
Ernie
and
over
I
there,
didn't know what she was crying about.
he didn't. Ernie was a tour guide for like 15 years there.
He grew up in the
So
shadow of that
he
place.
grew up in the shadows there. So he knows that place, backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But he brought us on, and when we were guides there, it was very interesting. Such
Oh,
a cool place.
I couldn't even imagine.
Mhm.
I'm sure we could do a whole other episode with
Yeah.
just that.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, we could do a whole nother episode on just, the Ernie and Denise pack and me and Leanne and Beth
Oh
Allen
my
when the
gosh.
five of us get together.
That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can make 1, 2, 3 parts. That's
Right.
up to you guys. But while we're here today, I want to get into the Bell Witch Caves and the Bell Witch story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know more
So
about it.
there's the Bell Witch, which is not a witch, from what I've been told.
Mhm.
It's an entity.
Yeah, we have our opinion of what the Bell Witch is through the paranormal investigations that we've done and through some of the folklore that's out there and some of the things that she has actually been quoted as saying. That she's always been here, she's always going to be here, and she'll be here long after we're gone.
So
Yeah.
is she like you think she's more like an elemental?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because
She's an earth-based element.
yeah, she's,
Yeah.
After researching everything, a lot, like I said before, a lot of the, back in the day, anything that was supernatural, they would claim it being a witch, because they didn't understand any of that. So, you had the Salem witch trials. So they did not know what this was. So they were just going to claim a witch. It was a witch. So,
They did have a neighbor, and her name was Kate Batts. She was known, or she was kind of a recluse type person. She was known to be basically what we would call today a kitchen witch. She would do different recipes and do different things with herbs and spices and
Right.
that sort of thing. And everybody believed that she was a witch.
Huh. Now this is the Bell family, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, from what I do know about the story, so this entity or elemental, it came after more of John Bell, correct? Or was it the whole family?
Well, it started out. Um, he was out hunting, and he started noticing these animals that would show up on the property. Now, mind you, for 13 years, they did not have anything happen. It was extremely quiet for 13 years, and then
There's a story about
yeah,
that.
there is a story. But during that 13 years, like I said, nothing happened. And then he's out hunting and he sees this random animal that just looks very unique. It was like a rabbit with a dog head, so
Wow.
he's not understanding what is going on. And he follows this thing around and then tries to shoot it. It disappears. So they didn't know what was going on. The next thing that happened is they started hearing scratching on the wall. So
Wow.
Back up a bit. In 1804, the Bell family moved to Adams, Tennessee. That's in Robertson County, just in kind of the north middle Tennessee. He purchased 320 acres of farmland along the Red River. Like she said, they lived a very peaceful life for the first 13 years.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden they started hearing the scratches and things moving, and their lives changed. A lot of different stuff started happening. Sounds in the cabin and seeing strange animals on their farm. The family heard sounds that escalated into voices speaking directly to them throughout the house.
Wow. So,
Unfortunately, Betsy Bell, the youngest daughter, she was the one that was terrorized the most, took the brunt from the Bell Witch. And there were a couple of different reasons. The Bell Witch didn't want her marrying a certain young man. So Betsy was terrorized with beatings, and she was left unconscious numerous times.
Mhm.
wow.
But
So it was definitely an intelligent, more poltergeist than.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much intelligent. And this entity would go as far as going to the churches, the local churches, and would have a whole sermon, stand in front of the congregation and do better than the preacher. So, I mean, she was full of knowledge. She had predictions that some of them have actually come true. And no one really understood what or exactly who she was. She never showed herself.
Right.
They didn't know what she looked like, and they asked her, just show yourself, let us see what you look like.
Right.
She never would. So we don't know what she looked like, but I truly believe it was more of a land elemental type spirit, something that was watching over that land, because that land was Native American. It was originally, the whole land in that area. And Adams, when you go into Adams, Tennessee, you will feel like it's just different. It's a different type of town. And going on the native burial ground, you can feel that energy. The energy amps. And this last group that we had, they were like, good Lord, the energy here is so amped. And,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of people say that there.
Wow. Now this is some of the family's tombstones.
yes,
If you ever want to,
that
I don't know.
that monument right there was set up by the current family in commemoration of the Bell family. It is it's a marker that's set in the dead center of the original 320. It's either 320 or 220 acres of the farm, of the original farm.
Okay.
It sits in the very back of what they call the haunted dale on their property. It's right on the property line that they share with the actual Bell family.
Wow.
Where that monument is about 75 to 85 feet away from John Bell and Lucy Bell's actual headstones.
Wow.
Those headstones were destroyed. Somebody came in and vandalized them. They're no
Oh,
longer
no.
there, but there are markers there representing those
I was
locations.
just about to ask if you're still able to go and see the headstones. That's
No,
horrible.
it's on private property now. Like I said,
Okay.
we can get about that 75, 80 feet from them.
Got ya.
Also,
Now, oh, go ahead.
also where that marker sits to the southeast of that marker, about 100 yards, was the original location of the Bell family home, the original cabin.
Wow. Which is this.
No, that is not a depiction of the
Oh,
cabin. I
okay.
think that may have been another home that was on the property.
Okay.
That was the original Bell house.
Yes.
Yeah, now that's the replica.
That's the replica cabin. It was that old Louisiana style open floor plan, or open,
Okay.
had the dog
Yeah.
trot through it.
Yeah.
3 separate rooms in the attic.
Yeah, the house that you just showed was the original Bell home. And that has, fallen down. You can see a little bit of the remnants of it. Like I said, it's on private property. You can't get on that property. And the gentleman will let you know if you are on that property to get the heck out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you can imagine how many people have tried to get out there.
Oh, yeah. We don't condone going on to properties without permission.
Do it legally.
That's right.
I've urban explored in my time,
Yeah.
but I try not to anymore. We're trying. It's just so much easier to get into locations and everything if you actually go and have a conversation with somebody, or we have a couple places here that we've been to, and then we just sat there and had a conversation with them. They're like, cool, go investigate.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Be polite and follow the rules.
Now, having this as a replica of the house or anything, do you guys get activity in this house?
The house is full of artifacts from the Bell family.
Oh,
from
wow.
the land. They're Indian artifacts. I think there's a Bible. There's
a original kettle from the home of the Bells. So they've got a lot of stuff that is original to the home. And there is so much activity.
A kettle like this, correct?
Yes.
A kettle like that, yeah. It's we've gotten so much from that replica cabin. And
if I'm not mistaken, that picture you just shown is a picture that is from a cabin that is up at the Bell School, and it is that cabin is not a Bell family cabin. The wood that was used to build that cabin came from
the original
Bell home.
Yeah.
Wow. This is why we do this show. I'm learning so much. How much I got wrong.
No, not wrong.
No. So is this the original barn, or is it just?
That's just one of the barns on the property.
Yeah, that's over 100 years old, and they the family would hang some of their tobacco and stuff. A lot of those fields there, they had tobacco and stuff, so they would use those. And as soon as you drive into the property, you will see that barn welcoming you to the farm. And then it'll take you around the corner, and then you can go in and do your tours, whatever you want to do. And they do daytime tours, they do lantern tours there, and during October is their busiest month, and they get so many people in there. And they do a haunted hayride
Oh, that's
And
cool.
yeah, so and there is a road that goes through there, and it looks like almost like a logging road, but that was the original road from Clarksville to Nashville. So
Oh, wow.
that road, knowing that, which floored me because I had no idea that was the original road, and
Yeah.
that's what the bells would be on, when they would come there. So that was interesting.
Some of the folklore that's out there that President Andrew Jackson spent a few nights up there.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his entourage
Actually, I do know this story.
had a
But go
wagon train that got stuck, and they ended up having to stay there overnight. And President Andrew Jackson was quoted that, "I'd rather face the entire British Army than to spend another night with the Bell Witch."
That's awesome. I want to go.
Well, also, the state of Tennessee is the only state to recognize a person's death to the supernatural. And that was the killing of John Bell on December 20th of 1820 by the Bell Witch.
Did not know.
What was the
cause of death was poisoning.
Yeah, that's what it was, poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't get that out. That's what I had in my head, but I couldn't think of what.
Yeah.
That's stroke number 2. I think I just had a stroke.
What I stroked that time?
Ernie's doing the countdown.
I stroked somehow.
So you guys have a gift shop and stuff with Black Wolf, or?
Well, all of that is the cave. Everything that we do up there is for the cave property. Like I said, they've got a great setup up there. When we do our investigations, we investigate 3 different locations. We investigate the cabin, we investigate the cave, and then we investigate the Indian burial ground and the haunted dell.
Oh, he said you said present in you.
Now, out of all of those tours, which one do you get more activity out of? Or is it all pretty much?
We get activity everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the activity kind of comes from the folks that we have in those different locations. Leanne and I mainly do the Indian burial ground. We go out there, we'll do a tobacco offering, we'll show the utmost respect. We'll do an Indian prayer before every investigation, for every round of an investigation. Yeah. This year, Ernie and Denise had the cave, and they had some activity down in the cave. And then our regular helpers, Stacy and AJ, they do a phenomenal job with the spirits or energies in the cabin.
Got you. Now, do you guys get like shadows? Do you get voices? Do you get what kind of activity do you guys get?
We've gotten full body apparitions in the cabin. What did he say? The burial ground because they have the burial ground because it's easiest. But no, we get we've gotten EVPs. I know I sent you some pictures of the full body apparition in the cabin. They get a lot of the, what is it? Not laser grid, but the light.
Rope light.
The rope light. They get a lot of activity from that.
It seems to be a very popular piece of equipment now.
It is. It's something that's easy for them. Yeah. Well, and we did have something really interesting. I guess it was a couple of investigations ago. There was something that came out of nowhere. They don't even know where it came from. And we still cannot figure out what it belonged to, but it was a handle. And I mean, to be honest, it was during, I think they were doing a Estes method. And it was during that, and this handle came out of the blue. I don't know where it came from. So we got the owners in there and was asking them, if they knew where this handle came from. We have no idea. I mean, it just manifested out of the sky,
No, there was a
Yeah.
group in one of the rooms, and they heard something metallic hit the
Mhm.
floor.
And it was during
And
an
it was during an Estes method,
Yeah.
and
That's
it
weird.
just hit the floor.
Yeah. So, and we just left it in there. So we don't know, we don't know who it belongs to.
But that's our go-to right there is the Estes method.
Yeah.
I love that. Estes
I
method.
noticed in your promo that you do the Delco method.
Yeah.
We do too.
We've just started that, and we've actually had some pretty good stuff doing the Delco method.
Yeah,
And let me text right here. Ernie is crying right now because he had to walk down to the cave, and
Yeah, a lot.
know,
and
that's the cardiac portion of the tour.
he did chose the cave. And let me tell you, when you're going down into that cave,
No, going down's not the
going
problem.
down's fine. Coming back up, it's like climbing Mount Everest. Coming back up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Really?
We there's caves in North Florida, like right on the bend of Florida. There's caves, and we went down like I don't even know how far, but we were walking for a long time. And yeah, coming back, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and
We
so
were.
I noticed Hannah had put something about a crazy growl that happened Saturday. She's one of our good friends, and she had come to the event. And I never did hear about that, Hannah, but I would love to hear more about that.
Hannah is one that has been on our investigations a couple of times, and she has actually got a photo from the Indian burial ground that is which is looks to be a Native American
girl.
woman,
Yeah,
kind of squatted down, maybe holding a child or something. And then not this past weekend, but the previous investigation, we had somebody catch what appeared to be a campfire on the Indian burial ground with 2 or 3 Native Americans sitting around the campfire. And there was no light, light source there.
Yeah, there is no light source. I mean, we tried to recreate it, and we're ones to debunk everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we tried our best to debunk that. And I mean, it's a fire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That I talked to investigators like this of different places, and it makes me want to travel, but I'm broke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like any location. You have your good days, and then you have your really good days, and then you have, your bad day fishing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing, and you're kind of just sitting there, and I don't know.
But luckily, with the folks that we surround ourselves with, Ernie and Denise, and some of these other folks that we bring in, even if the investigation gets slow, we always have a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going down, that's the easy part. It's coming back up.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember we went to Gatlinburg, and we went to the highest point in the Smoky Mountains. It's like a tower, and it's like 1.5. It's 1.5 walk up, and they didn't tell us that it's like 1.5 miles up.
Yeah,
like we're from Florida. Everything's flat.
Yeah.
We don't.
that's true.
We got up to the top of that, and I couldn't breathe anymore. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I have to say, I climbed that when I was 8 months pregnant.
Oh.
I was 8 months pregnant and was climbing that. And
Yeah, this is my best friend saying this.
we can always
stuff.
make fun of Todd if nothing else. That's true.
You gotta have that one friend in the group that you can pick on.
Well, it
always goes back and forth.
We always pick on them. So especially Ernie, we have to pick on Ernie.
He's just upset he got picked on this weekend.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this. Now, is this only in the gift shop at there, or can you get this in stores? Or
You can get it online, can't you?
I cannot find it.
Okay.
But that book is in the gift shop. I literally cannot find it anywhere else. And it's by, he is a physician. He's one of the Bells. He is, it's like one of the best books I've ever read. It really goes into detail. It really goes into detail about, you know, her predictions, everything about how it all began, the different family members and what they experienced. It's so good. And there was stuff in there. I've lived here all my life, and we would take our son to the Bell Witch all the time, and when he was growing up. And
Yeah.
there was stuff in there I had no idea till I read that. And I tell everybody, I'm like, if you buy anything in here, please buy that book, because it's so good.
You know,
Now,
the other
is
thing
there-
about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is there a lot of kids that come through and do the tours, or is it the age limit? Or
As far as the tours, there is, like during the daytime, yeah, they do have kids that come through. Now, during our investigations, we have had smaller kids come in. We try to limit it, like, if they're 12 years old and they're mature enough to do that. We have had them, and to be honest, I mean, we had one kid, he was amazing.
He stole my energy drink.
He ended up stealing the energy drink of Todd's.
He didn't steal it. He just took it out.
Yeah, he didn't know, and he took this energy drink, and he was fired up for us the night.
You got to get that energy drink to make that walk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I walked to the store and back today, and I was like, "Oh, I'm old."
right. He was really, really good. His dad really encouraged, and that's the thing. I really, commend these parents that encourage that, because, a lot of times when we're younger, we're told, oh, it's just imagination. It's, don't believe in that, or it's bad to believe that, or whatever. And when I have these,
so much more open to it.
exactly. And so to have these kids come in, and they're seeing stuff, and they are having so much fun, and I'm just like, thank you for doing that with your child.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just part of our next generation that's just going to keep this crazy ride going.
That's
what
right.
My mom did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, her mom pretty much.
My mom supported this.
Oh, yeah.
Day one. She's like, "Oh, you got a spooky boyfriend? All right."
That's good.
We have this show. We do investigations, and I'm still trying to get my parents on board. But one day, hopefully.
My mom and I used to watch all the paranormal shows together, and she's always wanted to go out and investigate. I'm like, all right, come investigate with us.
Yeah.
So when you guys do the groups, as a picture like this, is this part of a group before you guys go in, or?
Yeah, we cap our events at 30 people. We'll break into three groups of 10, and then the guests will rotate to each location. They'll get to experience, a different style of investigation at each location.
How long at each destination?
They're there about an hour and a half.
Oh, that's not bad.
Mhm.
That's not bad at all.
Asking for research purposes.
Mhm.
I'm just curious.
Now,
Now,
we just had another friend jump in, Christy Hardison. She's helped us there at the cave as well, and she's a phenomenal investigator, and we can't wait to have her back.
Yeah, Christy is amazing. Todd just said, "Is that our Christy?"
I was just making sure. But one of the cool things that I failed to mention when we do these investigations, it's primarily a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
But this property, this land, the energy that is out there is not only paranormal. There's cryptics, and the one thing that most people forget about is to look up when they're doing an investigation outside. And there's ufology out there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've experienced to where we've had huge fireballs. I mean, huge fireballs come from one tree to another.
What?
Wow.
And when I say, like, to me, I was thinking, shooting star, and we're trying to debunk it, but it literally went from the top of a tree to the top of another tree. And I mean, very much not like a star, a falling star. It was not a comet, because we've seen those things. And me and Todd's looking at each other and we're like, that just happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And like most of the group that's in the chat will agree with us. When you're out doing an investigation and you've got a camera, or you're carrying around a camera, and you're looking at that little bitty 2x2 screen,
Yeah.
and you're focused right here, you're missing everything going on out here.
Right.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we encourage people to not carry cameras.
Yeah.
If you're going to carry cameras, take pictures. Or if
Okay.
you're going to have a video camera, make it a body camera.
Yeah.
Not something that you have to stay focused on. Or
Right.
even when we're using the equipment, if you're focused on that device with those lights,
Yeah.
you're going to miss stuff going on around you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've investigated with her multiple times, and we come back and the camera's just shaking everywhere because I do try to look everywhere. I
Right.
look and see what I'm filming sometimes, but yeah, I love looking. You never know what you're
Sometimes I
gonna
forget
see.
to hit record.
Yeah.
And the first time that I ever went to Tennessee, we were driving through the smoking. We were leaving that point at the tallest point at the mountains,
Mhm.
and we were leaving, and we pulled over, and it's dark. That's the first and only time that I've ever seen the full Milky Way.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's gorgeous.
I literally stood there for like 20 minutes and couldn't stop looking at it. I was like, wow.
Yeah. It's
Do
gorgeous.
you guys get views like that out there too? Or
Yes.
Yeah,
we actually had,
we had a Greg Yost, Squatch Man is his name. He lives in Indiana. He's a very good friend of ours, and Ernie and Denise. He came out there with us and
2 months ago.
2 months ago, and we had the most epic experience. There is Bigfoot out there. So he is a very unique individual, such a sweet man. He looks like he's from what would you say? The mountain. He looks like Mountain Man. That's the best way to put it.
Moonshiner.
And and he's just such an awesome person. And so we get him out there and he's like, are you guys seeing this eye shine out in the woods? And we see it. And we go out with him in Indiana, and I mean, some of them, we've had some really strange things happen in his part of the woods. So he gets out there, and he typically doesn't do a Bigfoot call, and he does this Bigfoot call. He looks like, he might be a Bigfoot hybrid. That's a good way of putting it, Ernie. And he's extremely tall. And so he does this call, and I kid you not, it was maybe
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
It's a response.
We get this massive response back. And I mean, to the point we're high-fiving each other. And and he's looking at us and he's like, this is the most epic night, just to be able to have that. And we get tree knocks out there. We get, it's just, you have got everything. You've got UFOs, you've got Bigfoot, and then you've got the spirits. And this last time when we were sitting in the field, we had a team. They were from Georgia, and one of their team members, she just sat down in the field and she was like, this is crazy. She goes, I'm literally seeing so much movement out in this field. And she said, guys, I'm coming back. She goes, this is crazy seeing what I'm seeing out here. And you can see, I claim it's, it could be Bigfoot. But I also see a lot of the natives.
A lot of residual energy.
Yeah, residual.
Okay.
You'll see a lot of that residual movement out there. And and
Christy.
we do get elementals, like Christy said. And like Ernie said, he said had a rock thrown at me Saturday night. Todd is notorious for having stuff thrown at him. And so I mean, to the point he's had to wear hard hats when we've been
Oh,
out.
wow.
Especially when I'm around Ernie.
Yeah. And when we go out and do this kind of stuff, I'm like, Todd, just get ready. And yeah, I mean, we were in the woods in Indiana, and we hear one at 2 a.m. This rock was coming through the woods, and you would hear it hitting the tree leaves. And I mean, it was hitting so hard, and it ended up hitting next to Todd on this
A cooler.
a cooler.
Right here. Right here. I peed a little.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's just
We need to come hang out with you.
Yeah, right.
be
Just-
prepared. I'll just put it like that.
Y'all go ahead and plan on to come on up October 19th to the
Oh, I wish.
Spirit Squatches and Stories by the Campfire event at Fort Duffield. Up
I
in,
wish. We're literally working on my car
Yeah.
today to make it work again, or I
Oh, we
would.
get it. We just went through that ourselves.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So I want to start getting into us talking about the good old Bell Witch Cave.
Yeah.
So are these kind of just handmade steps, or was it kind of just
Oh no, they're actually steps that were partially handmade, and then the rest of it is actually earthen steps.
okay? That's what I was gonna say. Was it like a natural just walk down, or
Yeah, it is. And then to the right of that, there's our natural stream that goes through the entire cave. So
Oh, wow.
anytime like it rains really hard,
I wish we would have sent you the picture of the cave flooded.
yeah, the cave, I mean, can flood so bad. But there is to the right of that picture, the stream goes down and it flows into the Red River.
I was pointing like they could see.
Oh, yeah. And so you've got that, and it's a waterfall that goes down into the Red River.
Where that picture was taken, if you are standing right there, the Indian burial ground is about 86 feet above you.
Mhm.
And then,
Wow.
and then if you go to the top of that landing and look over from that point there and look kind of behind where that picture is being taken, you got another 45 foot drop into the Red River.
Wow. So you guys have Indians that were in this cave, and you have running water that spirits are supposed to be able to conduct through water.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just a recipe for spirits.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
no, you've got limestone, Tennessee limestone.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got the water.
Yeah, oh, and limestone, yeah.
You've got railroad tracks nearby.
and then you had the Trail of Tears that went through that area. So you've got
all the
that
emotion.
tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a recipe of a lot.
That's crazy. But I want to. Is this just to keep people out, or
It is.
That's to keep the people we don't like Ernie, in. Yes, that's to keep. I'm sorry, that's to keep people out. Yes,
Gotcha.
they have a lot of vandalism back in the day, and they needed to preserve the cave.
Yeah,
and that was part of that.
So are these lights go through the whole cave?
It does.
Yeah, they have it lit up with LEDs so you can see as you walk through.
Oh, that's what I was gonna. Is it like the little rope lights?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
LEDs, and they've done a lot of work. They've renovated that a couple of times where they had just regular, I guess call them halogen lights, and then they put
Yeah.
those in. This is one of our investigations in the cave.
Now, what kind of equipment do you use? Do you guys use the same thing, or do you guys switch it up, or?
We use a lot of the same equipment. We'll do EVPs in the cave. We like to do what we call a 360 EVP session. I don't know if you're familiar with the 360s or not.
Yeah.
But we do that a lot. Just sitting in the cave and going lights out is an experience in itself.
Yeah, and that's what Christy was saying. She gets exciting when those lights go out Because when those lights go out, your senses, I mean, amp up.
Oh yeah,
tremendously.
100%. They so the caves that I went to here in Florida, there was lights like this in some spots, and then they would have some of them with like blues and greens and purples and like lights up the whole cave in different colors. And they shut we got all the way to the bottom, and there was a switch or something in that cavern, room, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And he's like, look at this. And he shut all the lights off. And I'm like, this is,
Oh.
you don't have, you have hearing. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the only sense that you have, because you can't even see your hand.
Yeah, that takes you back to the day when the Indians used that for shelter.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that those Indians used to do to save on their arrows, and if they had guns back then, to save on their powder, they would take deer and corral them and herd them and run them off the cliffs.
Mhm.
So when they would run them off the cliff, they would fall right to the door of their refrigerator, for lack of a better term. So they would clean. They had the river there to clean them. They would clean them and then take their hides and their meat into the cave for dry storage.
But I would have never thought of that. That's really smart.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple more. I showed a picture real quick and then I moved it because I want to get into that, but I want to keep showing people how far down is the cave. Like, how far do you go?
Again, you're about 86 feet below the graveyard, and the cave is probably 300 feet
Yeah.
that we have access to. We can go as far back as what they call Eagle Rock. That's it right
Eagle
there.
Rock.
And behind Eagle's Rock it's a lot of water.
That's our little gnome.
Is that our gnome?
Yeah.
That's our gnome that sits next to Eagle Rock.
That's awesome.
But it's a great area. We get to the second room. There's a lot of stuff that feels like it goes on when you're in the second room. You can hear voices coming from behind Eagle Rock.
Wow.
A lot of people say, "Oh, it's just the water, and it makes it sound like voices."
Right.
Not so much. I mean, we've heard men's voices, we've heard women's voices, we've heard children's laughter, we've heard groups of people arguing.
Yeah.
We were up there for the eclipse this year, and we left a recorder. Wow. We left a recorder in the cave for about 45 minutes with nobody else in the cave. We locked the cave behind us, so we know nobody was in there.
Mm-hmm.
You get into the first 15 minutes of that recording, and there are full-blown conversations in not only in English, but I think we heard a couple of times in native tongue, in the native language as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Now, did you have to find somebody in that? I don't want to say it wrong.
No, we haven't had it translated yet.
Okay.
We're still trying to convince ourselves that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, spending time down in the cave, and we've been lucky enough to spend some time there alone. Like Raj, yeah. What she's talking about there is not an orb. These are bars of light.
Bars.
Wow.
And they just, they happen in the cave, and they happen up on in the field in the haunted dell. And
wow.
It's crazy. But we've had the experience of investigating by ourselves there. And in the cave, tell about hearing Candy and
we were in the back room, and the owner and her daughter Candy, we could hear them coming down the hallway, and it was their voices. I mean, it was completely, you could have not told me it wasn't them. So it was me and Todd and a couple of the actual daytime tour guides, and they heard them too. So we're waiting for them to turn the corner so we could see them, and we see nobody. And mind you, this is during the eclipse. And so we kind of crawl down off the rocks and go out down the hallway and then into the first room. There's nobody there. So we go all the way back up to, at the very top, and they're sitting out there watching the eclipse. And I asked them, I said, did you guys happen to come, into the first room or down the hallway? And no, they had stayed up there and was watching the eclipse the entire time. So they have that happen often. I've heard
that more like a mimic.
Yes. And the only thing I could think of, and we were discussing this kind of theories about it, we were thinking, okay, this is limestone. Limestone, is almost can absorb it.
Like a record.
So, I'm thinking, possibly could that be it? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's so neat to hear that. And I mean, you hear it so clear. What'd she say? Until the mice.
Yeah, there are mice in the cave.
Yes, there is.
Apparently.
Yeah, like Jennifer said, the rock tape theory. Yeah.
Apparently, this weekend we discovered that we have bats in that cave.
Nice.
Oh wow!
I like that.
This goes back to Denise's comment about wearing the face shield. I'm not exactly sure where she was standing in the cave, but one of the bats had some faulty sonar and flew into Denise's face, and but nobody witnessed it.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you were talking about like the light rods. Is it like a certain color, or is it more like
it's usually white and blue?
I usually see blue orbs in the field. We've caught several of those, and then the light rods that I've captured. Now I don't know what Christy's gotten, but ours has been white
or blue.
I got hit in the eye.
Yeah, she hit her pretty good.
I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
Well, and that's another thing. When sound in the cave, years ago, I mean, Leanne and I grew up going to visit the cave. When our son was born, we would take him up to the cave, and we would go and visit all the time. There was one time that we were there just on a cave tour, and we got separated. Leanne and Zachary made it into the first room. I was still coming from the second room. I had stopped at an area and was taking some pictures. But while I was there taking the pictures, of course, my camera dies. And I'm not far from where Leanne and Zachary are, and they are yelling as loud as they could back into the yellow and gold. Okay. Yeah, back into the area where I was at, and I couldn't hear them, and they couldn't hear me. And then I come walking out, and goes, "Where were you?" I was 15 feet around the corner. Well, we were yelling at you, and you didn't answer us. So you didn't yell at me.
That's crazy. You would think there would be a lot of echo.
Yeah.
Sound would carry.
Yeah.
And, right on what Ernie was saying. Denise was she was close, but apparently the rock or whatever, the rock or the combination of rock and stroke, Ernie, I know, 3. The combination of the rock and the water in the cave must absorb the sound.
It has to, yeah.
Oh, I would have never thought of that. That's pretty cool. Now, before we get, there was 2 that I skipped over that I wanted to go over. Was this like excavated or
Excavating?
No, that's what they call a box grave.
Okay.
There was an Indian girl that was actually buried in the cave. The previous owners
called you out.
Yeah. I called myself out. The previous owners that ran the cave at that time, somebody had broke into the cave and actually stole the bones.
Oh, that's crazy.
So just think about this for a minute. They have a binder up at the gift shop at the cave of letters that people have sent back rocks that they have taken out of the cave.
Okay.
And they've sent back the rocks with this letter explaining what happens. And it's always bad juju. So if you think,
Good. Stop taking stuff that's not yours.
That's
yeah,
right.
so if you're taking rocks out of the cave, don't do it. So with that thought, think what would happen if you take bones
I couldn't
of
imagine.
a Native American
Like-
Of a
child.
little girl.
I
Out of
could.
the cave. So
You would have a very. You'd be the reason your house is haunted.
Right.
Yeah, they that's kind of like well, not taking stuff. Kind of like Robert the Doll.
Mm-hmm.
People write messages. They have cases and
Apologizing.
cases and cases of letters and apologizing to Robert. And
yeah.
that's
There is
that
a-
was going to be one of my questions. If anything, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, there is a another book that they sell in the gift shop. It's called the Red Book. It's the folklore and story of the Bell Witch, but it's
Okay.
written in Old English, so it's a very difficult read. But
Okay.
this book has been known to, if you loaned it to somebody, whoever you loaned it to loses the book will show up back at your house.
But
I want to test this theory.
Oh, no.
We tested
We did. Yeah. It happened. It happened. I think Denise even had the red book, and then the same thing happened. So yeah,
Wow.
just strange things. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll send you my address after this.
Okay.
just let us borrow it.
So
Right.
is this? Oh no, that's not it. Where was it? There you go. Is that some of the stuff that you found walking
Yeah.
through the property or the cave, or
That's
that's stuff
okay.
that's been washed up through the cave.
Pottery.
A lot of it is pottery. There's a lot of old steel type things that get washed through the cave.
yeah?
Some of the pottery that comes through doesn't look dated, but there are other pieces that they found that they have dated.
Yeah.
And I forget.
It was
Was
back
it-
to the paleo.
It's like thousands
Error.
and thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're at the part where you showed me pictures of paranormal.
Yep.
And stuff that you've caught.
I like pictures
Now
of
I don't
paranormal.
know. We should have gone over this. This is my fault. I'm gonna show it real quick and let me know which one comes first.
Yeah.
That's one of the fire pictures that there was no fire on the hill.
That was on the Native
Oh,
American
this.
forum.
Yeah.
Is that one of the fireballs?
Well, that's what looks like a campfire
Yeah.
when the picture was being made. And if you look right behind the lower flames, it looks like somebody kind of leaned over the flame.
Oh wow.
And that
Oh, yeah,
was
right here.
that was actually blown up. The original I sent to you and kind
Yeah.
of blew it up.
This one.
Yeah, that's the original.
Yeah, if you look to the left on there, that. I mean, what you see to the right, that light is actually
Through the
lights
trees.
through the trees. Where that is, there's a tree right next to that,
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's no light signal or
there's
light
no
source
light
over there.
source at all.
That's
That's weird.
so crazy. And did you guys see this with your own eyes, or is
No.
it just on a picture?
It was
It was
captured in a picture.
Just the picture.
Wow.
And again, we tell our guests and anybody that comes out, when you take pictures, always take multiples. Take them in threes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's the paranormal code is take
Do it
everything
in
by
three,
threes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Weird purple light. And like you see this picture, like it looks like it's like eliminating light
Yeah, it looks
out
like
of
a
the right side of
streak.
the picture, like a
Right.
streak of light coming out of the picture.
Yeah.
Hmm.
there's all sorts of
That's-
movement up there.
That's crazy.
The
Now this is
distant one first.
Yep, that's the first one. Our good friend Joe Crow came up and
that's such a cool name.
Yeah.
Joe
he,
Crow.
he and his wife and their family came up and spent some time with us one night. And he was just out around the cabin, just had a regular old, I think it was a 35 millimeter camera.
No, he was using
Was
his,
he using his
he
phone?
was using his cell phone. And
So he was using night shot.
yeah.
Okay. So he took, 10 or 12 pictures. This was like picture number 8. And if you look real close in the doorway, you can see the start of a manifestation. If you'll click to the next picture, which is picture number 9.
I blow up the picture so Sarah can see. She's a little blind.
Oh no, it's fine. And that was just the beginning of the manifestation. So you're sitting there looking at that going, what am I supposed to
What
see?
is it?
Yeah, you see kind of a misty
Yeah.
object in the doorway.
Yeah.
And
Wait till
then-
you look at the next one.
So do you want to explain what this
The
spirit
next
is before I show the next one?
No,
Nope,
show the next one.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Oh, we're-
Oh, blow it up.
wow.
Yeah, and so this one, like Todd said, it was a series of 12 pictures, and like that was number 8, and this is number 9. And this picture is crazy to us. It's on our paranormal page. In that black book, there is a picture of John Bell Jr. and he's actually got a staff in his hand. Well, this gentleman here has got a staff in his hand. The face features and everything resembles John Bell Jr.
We actually had someone from the Bell family reach out to us and say, you might want to look at this picture. It does look like, or it favors John Bell Jr.
Yeah.
It looks like a face with a mustache.
Well, you got the period vest and jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What looks like he's either holding a cane or maybe even a rifle.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his hand over his chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's now what era was this? I know it was 1800s, but what time in the 1800s?
It was probably was probably after John Bell Sr. had passed away.
Yeah.
So it was probably the late 1820s, early 1830s.
Wow. And this is in a recreation of the house, correct?
Yeah.
It's a replica, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that portion of that home has got the original Bell artifacts in it. So that makes sense that, something there was holding on to, something, to have, it floored us. That picture floored us because, no one was expecting that. So to get something like that was amazing.
Yeah. That's kind of like we were talking before the show, the old hospital on College Hill. That's how they got their famous picture too, with the nurse. Was they just taking random pictures of the property and a nurse showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have
I would love to get a picture like that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If I ever come up there and I'm holding my phone and I'm running towards you, you know why. I don't run. I don't run. But Todd, look at this.
You're right.
But look at that. Joke number 4.
Let me catch my breath real quick. Hold on.
Oh, I get it. I mean, we still have those moments. I mean, we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when we're out with our friends and stuff. And, we're not really in it for the evidence to show people or whatever. It's kind of more
if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, it's kind of from
more when it does.
More of a personal experience.
Yeah, exactly. I'd
just like
100% love to have more of a personal experience than it being on film or anything.
Because I mean, we have stuff happen around us all the time, and there are some things that happen so often. Yeah, we kind of get numb to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when that big thing happens, I don't care who you are, we all still get giddy like a little child. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
Yep.
We just did an investigation at a local jail here in Florida, and we had a guy looking at the cameras, and he thought I was upstairs while there was still somebody walking around in the thermal cameras. I was downstairs in the museum, and he walked in the museum. He's like, "You're not upstairs? There's no way you're not upstairs. Like, I can literally see you walking around." And I was like, "No, dude, I've been down here for like 5 minutes."
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's
I
no
left
way."
the museum when he came in there, and
Oh, we have a portal. I don't know if you know what a
Spirit
portal
box.
does.
Yeah.
We have that, and it was running. I was like, unless there's somebody mimicking me. And as soon as I said mimic me, it goes, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
Like, just perfect day, and you hear us all yelling and like high fiving, and I'm like,
And
It
this
happened.
It
show
happens. Yes, it does.
where we caught someone choking
Oh.
me, rushing at me, and then saying I did.
Right.
yeah, that's I can't imagine the stuff that you can see out there. I'm trying to catch up on the comments.
I
You
know,
guys are
we're
doing
behind.
awesome in the comments this time.
We've never had this many comments.
Well, what Denise is talking about, asked Todd about the friend in the red shawl. Like I said, we spend a lot of time with Ernie and Denise, and we actually have our own room up there at their house. And their house is considered one of the most haunted locations in Kentucky, or either
Wow.
the most haunted location in
Home.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Home. And they do have a lot of activity up there. We were up there with them one night, just the four of us, just relaxing, doing our little investigation of their house.
Yeah.
And we were having a lot of activity in the dining room. So I got up and I walked into the dining room just to see if some doors may have opened or whatever. And, there was nothing going on. So I went on into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator, got the milk out, poured me a glass of milk, put the top back on, put the milk back in the door, and closed the door. And sitting right there was a little old lady in a red shawl. Full body apparition.
Where'd you come from?
I had some explicit. Yeah, I said some bad words.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
And they're all sitting in the den, just wondering what's wrong with Todd. And I guess I come out with a puzzled look on my face, and I said, "All right, who's the little old lady in the red shawl?"
Yeah. So yeah, we would love to know who that is. So Haunted Discoveries he didn't, Ernie. He didn't, but he was saying some pretty crazy
colorful
stuff.
language. It was colorful.
Yo,
language.
absolutely.
Well, we had Haunted Discoveries come out to their house, and that was one of those things we told them. We were like, we want to know who the little old lady with the red shawl is. So, and
they got a good laugh out of it.
They did. So we shall see when that show comes out. It comes out season 4. So we'll see if they find out who that lady is.
That's awesome. So we have 2 more pictures, and then we have a question of the week.
Ooh, we remembered it this week.
Yeah, I've been pretty bad at remembering.
I'll never let him live down the question of the week that he forgot.
See?
Yeah,
now,
that happened.
With this little lady, before I get into this, I have so many questions I want to ask you about this. What happened? Like, you saw her and she kind of just disappeared, or
Denise,
she like looking at you while you're looking at her, or
yeah, it was another one of those. I mean, we were just, I don't know, I may have scared her just as much as she surprised me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Denise seems to think that she was just making sure I put the milk back in the refrigerator or something. I don't know. It was I was standing in her kitchen, and she was just making sure I was doing the right thing. I mean, it wasn't scary. It was more of a if anything, a startle or a jump scare, because I wasn't expecting somebody to be standing there.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of haunted.
We have
dolls
at least 5 haunted dolls at the house now, and we have one doll that we just got. Its head moves, by itself.
Yeah, we've noticed
And
his head
then
moving a
we have
little.
another doll from. Have you ever heard of the May Stringer house?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
here in Brooksville. We did an investigation there, and we got a doll from that house. One of the tour guides gave us one of her dolls that she gets activity, and
She sets off
she
cat
sets
balls.
off
She
cat
sets off
balls.
a Buzz Lightyear toy that we have in our living
the little
room.
old school '90s Buzz Lightyear toy
She
that
likes playing
that
with
hits
it.
the buttons on the arm,
Yeah.
and she hits random buttons.
Yep.
And at like 3 a.m, it was
Yeah.
pitch dark, and I'm trying to go to the bathroom, and all I hear is freaking Buzz go off. But dude, I
Thank
was
you.
lucky I was already going to the bathroom.
Right. Well, and that happens at Ernie and Denise's house. They've got children there, and you'll hear this little, what is it? That little thing that you wind up, music box that will go off, in the middle of the night, and that's creepy. I mean, it's just creepy. When you're hearing that, like you said, Buzz Lightyear going off, you're like, y'all, don't do this in the middle of the night.
Go ahead and block him.
It goes off all the time too. Like,
Yeah.
some days it'll go 6 or 7 days without going off, and then sometimes it goes off like 6 or 7 times back to back to back.
I'll ask her, hey, thanks. Can you set that off again if you want some attention? And she'll set it off after a couple of minutes.
Right.
I'm like, just let her
You
do
don't have
her
to tell that
thing,
again.
ask her questions, give her some attention. She'll be happy.
Hey, man, I just want to put out on this comment right here. We're investigators. That doesn't mean that we don't have nerves and we don't get scared, because I've experienced some stuff at Pennhurst that I couldn't even tell you how that even happened. There's nobody in this building. I've literally walked around this whole building by myself. Well, not by myself, with friends. And you literally hear whistling, and you can literally see everybody in front of you. Like, what?
Well, that's what I meant earlier when I said we get numb to some of this stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And then when you get that aha moment, it startles you or
Again.
or makes you move.
Yeah. We're investigators. We're not very emotion
We're
proof.
people.
Hey, Christy, if you think it's funny me and Ernie giving each other crap is amusing, wait till you come to the campfire.
Yeah.
Uh oh.
Was that an invitation?
You got yourself in trouble, Chris.
Y'all come on out to the campfire.
Oh, I wish. So, explain what this picture is.
That picture was taken by Stevie Ruley. He is Bulldog Paranormal. This was his very first investigation, and he bought a ticket to the Bell Witch. He goes into the cave with his thermal camera, and we saw this, and he's like, "What are you guys seeing this?" And I see a horse, and I see the ears, see
see the
muzzle, and then you can almost see somebody, like a Native American,
with a big chest plate, and
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the numbers there, you could almost see a headdress.
right?
And the funny thing about this picture, if I remember him describing it right, the hot spot you see in the just below the horse's snout,
Yeah.
is actually somebody sitting on the rock. A real
Like an
person.
actual person, or
The hot spot that you see is an actual person.
okay.
This
Wow.
this imagery of the horse and the Indian with a chest plate and somewhat of a headdress.
Yeah. So I know, like, in caves and like water stains and everything, do you guys see this in the cave, or
I'm sorry, what was that again?
do you, like, I know there's like water stains and like stuff that's on the wall naturally.
Mhm.
Could it be this, or
No, this was the lights. When he was capturing this, the lights, they had already completely turned those out. And he had his thermal and was just shooting it, and captured this. I mean, it just, and I
Wow.
think from that moment on, he was hooked. He was like, y'all, this is crazy. And this was before he even started his paranormal team. And he was like, Lynn, I'm hooked. I'm hooked now. And I was like, that's how it starts. You get that first thing and you're like, okay, I got to figure out what this is. And so capturing that, it was amazing capture. I told him, I said,
and everybody will remember their first time experiencing it too.
That's right.
They'll never go away.
Yeah. To answer your question a little differently, when we have the lights on in the cave, there are times that, and it doesn't really seem to coincide with anything that's going on outside. There's just different times in the cave that certain parts, especially in the first room, a fog will roll in right above the box grave.
Okay.
It just kind of lingers there for a little bit and then it just dissipates. So
now is that just coming off the cave, like off the water?
I think it's coming. I think it comes from another room. There's some small openings back there. And I think you get a little of that fog or moisture that rolls through. But the times there's like I said, there's no real time behind why it does such a thing. And there's a lot of pictures that have been taken that you can see what looks like faces or things that are mimicking other things.
Yeah.
And, we can't really write that to the paranormal. It feels more
pareidolia.
It feels more pareidolia than anything, but it's just unusual when it happens.
Yeah. Now that's I can't remember the name of that. When you see faces on the wall, you see faces in the objects.
Pareidolia.
Yeah, it's pareidolia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do you get that a lot once the lights shut off? Because I know your mind plays tricks on you a little bit when the lights turn off first thing, before you get accommodated by the darkness and everything. Your eyes start to focus. Do you see more stuff while it's like focusing, or
you feel more stuff because
when it goes dark in that cave, it
is complete and utter darkness. Yeah.
If you see something in that darkness, we got a paranormal event going on.
Because I know when they say like shadow people are darker than dark, like you can see the dark and then they're darker of that. Do you see that type of stuff back there, or
with the lights out? No, you would not see it.
We see a lot of that up on the Indian burial ground and back in the Dale.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had Doogie from the Tennessee Wrath Chasers came out to one of our first events. He and Jason came out and they were doing the actual investigating of the cave. And Jason got a picture of that fog or that smoke that I was telling you about. And in that picture, there was a face and it looked just like Doogie.
I mean, it had his beard and everything that Jason Hale had captured. So he comes running up from the cave and he's like, you got to see this. And I mean, it was Doogie. It was his face. And I'm looking at him and I was like, well, what does this mean, Doogie? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. But we mess with him all. He's a good friend of ours. He lives up here in Gallatin. He's always been a good friend of ours. And he was like, I don't want to talk about it. But the cool part of it was when they came, that episode that they did at the Bell Witch Cave was not done at the Bell Witch Cave. That episode was done at the schoolhouse. And because they could not get down to the cave because it had flooded. And they have all that electrical equipment and all that stuff that they have. So he had not ever had a chance to investigate the cave. And so we called him the first year, last year, and we said, hey, would you and Jason Hale, because they have a new team. And I was like, do you guys want to come? And he did. And so it was nice to have him there and have him experience that. So
that's awesome.
That was
I've actually talked to Dougie a couple times.
Yeah.
They I messaged him and I asked him if anybody ever asked him if he looked like the guy from God of War.
Oh yeah.
He does. if he shaved his head like he does, and you put the God of War makeup on, he'd look exactly like him.
Yes.
Yeah, like Denise says, when you go lights out in the cave, you can feel that energy in that cave
Oh yeah.
coming at you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, have you had any physical things happen while you're in the cave or on the property?
Yeah, not for us. We, as far as during our investigations, no. No one, people have felt things around them,
like
kind of shrouding them, kind of,
Right.
a lady had a couple of ladies that have been in the cave have had their hair pulled,
yeah.
not jerked or anything, just pressure, like their hair being
Just
pulled.
to get attention.
Yeah.
We had one gentleman that either the first or second investigation we had
Yeah.
a scratch on his back that said hi.
It looked like it had wrote hi on his back. That was interesting.
And Denise was physically assaulted by a bat.
Christy said, Todd, didn't you have that pressure pushing you down?
Yeah, there's one of the areas that we investigate up on the Indian burial ground. We like to do a little bit of energy work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an area on the Indian burial ground that you can walk across. And it's like the energy or the spirits or whatever's up there only want you to go so far.
Yeah.
And the night that Christy was talking about, I'm walking across the field and I feel like a pressure in my chest, something stopping me from moving. And, it's happened a couple of times, but I guess they've gotten familiar with what we're doing up there now. And
yeah, she did feel like something was just
brushing her
hair. Yeah.
That was in the cave, wasn't it, Jennifer?
Yeah, actually, I know that feeling all too well. The jail that we just investigated, the very first time I ever went in that jail, the owner and me and him were talking, and he's like, "Go upstairs. There's only 5 cells up there, and like, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'1", and this hallway and those cells were not made for people like me." They're very small, and I took up the whole hallway, and I don't know if I was in the way or they were showing dominance of somebody that was bigger than them, but I got hit in the chest so hard I couldn't breathe for like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And like, I walked right up to the owner. He's like, "Go upstairs and let me know what happens, and then you come back down and tell me." I was like, "Okay." And as soon as I walked back down there, I was like, "When can I investigate?"
Yeah.
I remember what Jennifer's talking about now.
Yeah.
That was one of those times I got spun in the cave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember that. And she did say that happened in the cave with her hair. And Michelle, that just said that place is awesome. She was there this last weekend with us.
She got to experience Ernie.
Yeah, she did. And we investigated Brushy Mountain with Michelle, and then we had told her, that we led investigations at the Bell Witch, and so she came out and experienced it with us, and that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So I'm trying to. She had to go use the restroom. I want to get into one more picture, and then we can do the picture of the week.
That picture right there. If you look to the left, you see that little white. I don't know why I'm pointing again. You see that little white haze right there. It looks like a Native American woman, either sitting Indian style or squatted down.
Oh, I do.
Maybe holding something.
I do.
And then you kind of see that white light kind of coming out from behind her.
Wow.
That wasn't there.
Now, what area is this? Is this the burial ground or?
Yes, that is on the burial ground.
Wow.
Yeah, and that is right above the cave. So that land is very sacred.
Now, do you guys go from 3 different spots? Do they kind of just stay in their spot, or do you guys have things follow you throughout the tour? Or
well, the way that it's set up, only the guests rotate.
Okay.
The investigators will stay in one location the rest of the night, or the whole night. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
say that, Christy, because you'll give Ernie the big head, and
Yes.
he'll think he's the reason why you came.
Okay. Well, then, does anything follow the guest from spot to spot?
Not
We haven't
I
had
don't think
anybody
we've noticed
had that feeling of the energy
Mm-mm.
shift or something following.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's that one kid's name that was there last week? It kept going back to the cabin.
Oh yeah,
We got one.
Alistair.
We got one guest that that comes, and he's got a, I don't know, I won't say an attachment, but he's got something going on with the cabin, and don't know if it's something, if he's
I think
family blood, Indian blood, or what
I
it
think
is.
it's more of he's curious because he's had so much happen and he's new to paranormal investigating. So it's more of he's trying to go down that rabbit hole of figuring out what it is. So, and he told us, he said, do y'all mind if I just kind of stay in the cabin like the entire night, just about? I was like, yeah. I said, I know, because he's been 3 times to our investigations. So it's one of those things he's got to figure out what it is. So
Yeah.
And I get that because I've been places and I go down those rabbit holes. I have to figure out what I was experiencing.
That's exactly how I was with the jail. Like we just I've been there. This would be my 4th time there. And like, we've always been with somebody else or like collaborated with somebody, other teams, which I love doing. I love collaborating with other people, but we were there just by ourselves this time. And it was a whole completely different energy. We got so much good stuff off of it.
Good.
But I know exactly how that you get that one experience in that one spot, and like your brain just doesn't stop going. And like, what the heck is that? Why? How did that happen? What did it do?
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: Does Sarah like run off, just kind of leave you?
She's actually right here.
I mean,
went to the bathroom.
when you're
Sarah's here.
When you're doing your investigations, if something happens over out of the way.
So if anybody that watches our show,
Sarah's like,
we actually moved our room around, and we usually have a really big tapestry right behind us, but we cannot get it to stay on the wall today. So we're using the virtual background.
What do you mean it's totally natural? This is hanging up in our room.
Yeah.
So where I was going with that question is, Ernie and Denise, Leanne, and I will be on an investigation. Something will happen in another room, or they'll pick up on some sort of energy, and Leanne and Denise they're gone.
Hi.
Her. 100% her.
Hi.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have to figure out what it is. Like, we want to know as soon as something happens. I mean, it could be the scariest thing, but we're there. We got to know. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just the way we always go straight to it.
I'm that way too.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard this. I made it public. You guys didn't hear me. I'm sorry. I'm going to figure it out. I'll go by myself.
We're running in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Well, we do the same thing, but we assess the situation first.
Yeah. We don't. We just go.
Yeah. I try to keep an open mind on some stuff, but like at Penhurst with the whistling, there was only a handful of us there.
Right.
Yeah. So this is
we definitely don't run from it.
Our Salem.
This is our little mascot.
Yes.
It's our little demon.
I gotcha.
What is it?
Spicy. She just woke up from a nap.
She's been sleeping the whole time.
All day.
Oh. Yeah, and that's true. We protect our men.
Look at the big stretch.
Oh.
Is it a cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
So true investigator running to it, not from it. Yes.
Yep, we run to it, but
Yeah, I know Christy does. Christy runs to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
wow.
So this is part of the show where all the people that are watching right now, all of your friends and family that are watching, and you guys, we want to know your opinion on it.
What's
We'll
my favorite part of the
put
week?
our 2 cents into it also.
This is my
and
favorite
I'm gonna
part of
let
the week 'cause
Sarah
this is
do
the
it.
most interactive part.
So this is the question of the week. So do you
spirits
think
stay in their home because that's their happiest place?
I wouldn't say it's
No.
necessarily they stay in their home. I would say some places are haunted, or they stay in places that were their happiest time in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I know me and Todd, I know Ernie and Denise can attest to this. Sarah at Waverly Hills, she was the nurse on the 5th floor, and she worked with the children up there. So over the years, a lot of the paranormal investigators that came through Waverly collectively got her voice on EVPs saying that was her happy place. And
Yeah.
so Ernie over time he would ask, and
Denise said it perfectly.
yeah, like Denise said, they can be in their home and anywhere else that they want to be at the same time. They have no boundaries. And Sarah was one of those that she would let us know that she had gone to Niagara Falls, but at the same time she was at Waverly Hills. So I mean, because Niagara Falls was one of her places that she liked to go. And
Yeah.
so as far as Sarah goes, and some of the EVPs we got from her, that was her happy place at Waverly because
That was her heaven.
she said that was her heaven. And because she took care of the kids, and she was making a difference. And so that was her happiest place. And like Ernie said, yeah, I think spirits go wherever they want. It makes sense that they spend most of their time at a place they gave them peace and joy. And then
I honestly think that is heaven.
Yeah.
And I won't get into any of that because we don't do that on this show, but I believe in heaven and hell and all this.
Yeah.
I honestly think you go to your happy spot and you're whatever conscious of whatever happens after you die. That is your happy. That is your heaven. You get to go enjoy that for eternity or however long, whatever.
Yeah.
But what do you think about it? We'll get into the comments here in a second.
I believe it's the place where they felt the most emotions that they go in.
Yeah.
The strongest emotions: joy, anger, sadness, fear, sorrow.
Yeah.
Anywhere that a strong emotion has made an impact on an area is where they go.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into the comments. I think it's their comfort zone.
Yeah, because you gotta think the spirits in like a place like Penhurst or anywhere that a lot of trauma happened, that's not their happy place, but they're stuck there. Because that's where strong emotions took place.
So would that be considered their hell?
Yeah. I mean, that's all they knew.
Yeah. We've done an episode on Penhurst, and
this is a common topic in our house.
Yeah.
These conversations we have.
Yeah. Just normal.
Sarah had her own place at her house. She visits us often. That's cool.
Their Sarah story is a phenomenal story. Like you'll see a comment from Denise. That's the reason they got married. They actually had a place setting for Sarah at their wedding.
Wow.
So
That would have been cool if they set up like a millimeter or like a K2 or something
We
on the
did.
We
city.
did.
We did.
Did
and
you
it
get?
went off.
Did you get any? Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
She approved.
Yes, she did.
that's
cool.
awesome.
I don't know which one she approved of, but she approved.
You have to have a spirit approve of your wedding.
Now, was it the part of the time where it was forever hold your peace, or if
Yeah,
anybody
I
objects
think
to it?
it kind of lit up through different parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
a little bit about their wedding. I'm gonna steal a little bit of their thunder. They got married at a haunted location, Old Stone Jail. Their
That's
reception,
awesome.
she was dragged down the aisle by myself and another party, and she
To
was
come and take me away.
in handcuffs and shrouded. And
Wow,
her wedding march was "They're coming to take me away."
that's awesome.
And a exorcist actually married them.
And the reception was a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
That's
That sounds
literally
like
a
something you
whole
would
freaking
plan.
exactly.
That's why I don't let him
That's
plan
how we want to
anything.
get married. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Denise, we need to talk. We need to find your
No.
event planners. Said hello, sir. Hello. We love sharing it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they have an awesome story. so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to all through. There's so many. That's awesome. But how do you even get that? Like, I know you can get a priest. Is it
Yeah,
just
he's a priest. He's a good friend of all of ours, and
okay?
he's an exorcist. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this is part of the show. I wasn't able to do any of the links or anything. I've been so busy.
Mhm.
This part of the show where I know you promoted the campfire a little bit. Is there anything you guys like to promote or mention or anything coming up?
We do have October 17th, our next investigation. There's only 3 tickets left for that one. And that's with Night Song Paranormal at the Bell Witch Cave. They're co-hosting with us. We have AJ Wilson and Stacy. They're fabulous. They've been with us this whole season. They're helping. And then our last investigation for Bell Witch is November 2nd. And so that will be Mid-10 Paranormal will be helping us with that one. And then when we'll start next season, we do have the Fort Duffield. What date was that?
October 19th.
October 19th with Ernie and Denise at Fort
Squatchman
Duffield.
and Tim Coomer.
Yeah, and Tim Coomer and Squatchman. And right now, I think that's pretty much it until
we find something else
Yeah.
to do.
There's always stuff.
I mean, our October is full. We've got the soiree on the New Jersey battleship, and let's see, the end of September, or we're this weekend, we're going up to
The
the
IBR
IBRO up in Nashville, Indiana.
for the
Wow.
Bigfoot conference up there. And Squatchman's going to be a speaker, and so is Ernie and Denise for that one.
That's the ticket link for the Spirits, Squatches, and Stories by the Campfire.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, if you want to send me
got
that link, we'll definitely share that on our profile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you guys going to be around doing this next year, or is you guys moving on? Or
No, we will be back at the cave in May.
In May. Yeah.
And we'll start our once a month in May through November.
Nice.
well, hopefully you guys see us in 2025.
I hope
That
You
so.
would be
definitely
awesome.
want to come up here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, like I said,
I'm
gonna travel more next year.
you need to make it a good weekend. Come experience the cave, and just a couple hours away north of the cave, you can experience Fort Duffield, and there's other things around the area as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Guy. And before we go, I've almost forgot. How much you guys charge for these tours?
These are $85 per person for the cave.
Okay.
And it's a 6-hour investigation there. It's we provide snacks and drinks there for everybody. They have the gift shop. It's got some cool stuff in there. And then for Fort Duffield, those tickets are $50 a piece there.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, honestly, considering some of the investigation places we've seen are like thousands of dollars. Someone tried to charge $10,000 for whoever was like the highest bidder to come investigate.
Well, that was Ernie on his house, probably.
No.
Oh, sorry. No,
No, it's the asylum down here, and we're like, you're not gonna get that from just two people unless they're really loaded with money.
Yeah.
Right.
and the cool thing about Fort Duffield too is, I mean, it's a great investigation. You've
They
got your
provide
choice.
cookout drinks.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Ernie cooks out, provides hamburgers, hot dogs, and drinks and snacks, and it's a great time held by all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, we definitely need to make a trip up there. Tennessee's not that far.
And there's a train that goes right up through there.
Oh yeah, there is.
We were just looking at the Amtrak to go on a little train adventure.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
Oh, you.
I want to greatly appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Thank you guys so much for being the first episode for season 5.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you guys are kicking off. I feel like this is a great interview to kick off season 5.
I didn't think we might
Awesome.
get to season 5.
But I want to greatly appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
remember,
Maybe we can do a part 2 on
Oh, yeah.
something else,
Yeah.
or
Sounds
Really
great. Thank you
Okay.
guys so much for having us.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
guys
very
so
much.
much for your time.
I
Thank
hope you guys
Thank
have
you,
a
everybody,
great
for
day.
joining us.
Hours
Yeah.
of your time. Thank you for everyone who came to view it and in the comments. We appreciate you guys because y'all make our show awesome.
Go over to our YouTube and hit subscribe and like it.
Like, comment, follow, subscribe, and remember,
Always stay creepy.